Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Meltdown Abroad. Now, as we transition into the summer season, we'll be doing things a little bit differently by passing the baton over to you, where we'll be answering some of your parenting meltdowns. Ready to get into it?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Okay, the first question we received is, my preschool son is nervous about the transition to a new school for kindergarten. How can I help him?
Ooh.
Yeah, so first, certainly there's all sorts of things that could be happening here, and most of them are pretty typical, right? This is a pretty normal worry.
I'd definitely say this is in the green zone of concerns.
Yeah, for sure. So a few episodes ago, we had talked about sort of breaking down some concerns into the green, yellow, and red zones in terms of how much support you might need, whether or not it's more critical or really something that's fairly typical and could be handled at home pretty easily. And this would definitely be a green zone issue, right?
Yeah.
Right. And you would know if it got into a yellow zone if we started to have much more significant anxiety going into school and sort of trying to avoid it or trying to run away or those kinds of things. But when we just have kids who are expressing their worries about school and about it being new or about the change, that's super green zone area, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even so, like, if we were therapists, we would use some questions to kind of weed out whether or not this is something that's an ongoing concern. Like,
Sure.
For me, I would probably be wanting to know if this is a kid that's usually shy or not. Does he get nervous very easily? And how quickly does he overcome that feeling of shyness or emotion or nervousness?
Yeah, exactly. I would ask a parent a lot about sort of past history from things like separating from you. How has that gone in the past? Has it been a little bit difficult at the start and then fine? Has that actually not really been so much of a problem? Has it been quite a larger issue that you've had to tackle? And what were those things that helped him and you to do that? How maybe we've adapted to different types of learning environments that we've had, from little classes that maybe you've done or actually to preschool initially, how that adaptation went.
How was the transition to preschool? Was he also nervous, and did he or she like gradually build up or reduce their nervousness?
Yeah,
Once they got
exactly.
used to it?
And here in Germany, the sort of Kita acclimation process is very specific. It's not the same in different countries. So if you are in Germany, then looking at like how long did that take, and going into Kita. When you're in the US, that process is a little bit different, and you're not always staying for so long and adapting with them for so long in the same way that you do in Germany.
Yeah.
But we know from that experience how difficult we found it to be, right? And that can give us some information about the upcoming one, though also knowing that if it was a bit difficult, they got through that one. Exactly. And it will likely not be as hard as that one, because that's the biggest one, is moving from home to a different loving environment where you spend a lot of your day.
Yeah.
Right?
And then I'd also want to know, how are you determining that it is anxiety and nervousness? Because at a young age, sometimes, even though they know words of emotions, they might not fully understand the meaning behind it. And so they'll confuse things. So maybe I'm feeling sad, but I'm saying the word nervous, or maybe I'm feeling upset, but I'm saying that I'm sad.
Yeah.
So how are you deciphering that nervousness and anxiety is the emotion that they're feeling? Because have we had conversations with them? Have we asked them specifically what it is that they're feeling upset or nervous about?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
What's bothering them?
Yeah. And that breaking it down into pieces is helpful just to understand a little bit more about it. But it's also a tool later to support them with. So if if we find out that they're worried about making friends, or we find out that they are worried about getting called on, or worried about certain things that they know or don't know, or that they're actually
miss something.
Yeah, they'll just miss something. Then that gives us information for how we might proceed, whether it's helping them to practice a skill or helping them to stay connected to relationships that they had before.
Yeah, yeah. So, what are some
Yeah.
strategies you would suggest for greens?
Yeah, well, there's a bunch. I think transitions are notoriously difficult for kids, and also the adults tend to have a lot of sort of anxious anticipation of those transitions as well. And so being a little bit mindful of that
How you're
isn't really important
responding.
because we usually have it and we can,
Kids absorb what's in their environment, and
yeah.
you're their person, so they're going to absorb a lot of what you do, what they see, what they feel coming from
Yeah.
you as well.
Yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
so taking a look at that is helpful, and sort of helping ourselves to navigate those transitions is big. But certainly, there's lots of new variables, right? That's a totally new environment, new teachers, new kids. And so anytime there's a way to just reduce a couple of those variables, and that might look like going to the school, it might look like meeting the teacher, or taking a look at the playground in the middle of the summer if it's accessible to see, even when the school's not open.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think typically what will happen if it hasn't happened yet, you can start to prepare them for it, is that if you're transitioning from preschool to kindergarten, there's like an orientation day where the kids get to go to the new school and kind of see what the environment's going to look like. If the schools are attached, so if it's a preschool to school situation, usually that could happen before the summer break. But if it's a new environment, I think the classroom teachers would try to open up a space for the soft launch, as you
Yeah.
could call it, into kindergarten.
Yeah, it's usually about a week before school actually starts,
Mhm.
and then in some countries it can vary, but you to get to actually see the classroom and meet the teacher. Every school will be a little bit different, but that tends to be pretty standard for this transition. It's actually not standard for any grade after kindergarten.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
right when they're little, they do get that
They
opportunity.
do get
Yeah.
that. And if that opportunity is not coming on until the end of summer, then what you can do is probably find out who the teacher is, get a picture of the teacher, and share that with your child. You can also try to just get as much information as you can about what the classroom might look like. If they have pictures from the previous year, because they would have probably taken everything down during the summer, and just be able to highlight and show some of these things.
I like that a lot, because if you're moving and you're moving sort of right in advance of the school year, or you miss orientation or any of those things, you can make what's called a social story. And it's actually not too hard to make. It's just you take some pictures. You can just use the website for the school, even if you don't have anything else. But sometimes administration or the teacher would be happy to send you a few things. And you can show, like, this is a picture of your teacher. This is a picture of the classroom. This is what the playground looks like. So you can go through it and reduce some of those variables with them, and make a plan for, okay, so on the first day of school, I'm going to drive you or walk you or bike you, depending on how you get there, to here, and this is where you go in, and this is where your teacher will meet you. It's more to help them have a plan, because I think when it's so open-ended, everything is just new, and I don't know any of those things, and I don't know these routines.
Yeah.
They feel more of that anxiety going into it.
Yeah. And I mean, even if you're not able to get images of the school or build the social stories, you can start to find storybooks about kids that are doing transitions. There's lots of cartoon programs where the kids are starting school for the first time, and it's all about the positive experiences, like getting their supplies ready. And on the topic of play dates, that's another thing, to finding out whether some of that worry is coming from a loss. Maybe their friends aren't coming to the same school as them.
Yeah.
So that's where you're going to want to start building more play dates, because they won't have that same daily interaction, but they can look forward to the summertime and alleviate any panic for September.
Yeah, for sure. And there's at this age, there's a lot of ways to practice these things in quite playful ways at home too. So if they are worried about losing a friend or making new friends, you can use their dolls, you can use their stuffed animals, you can use their Legos, you can use those things to sort of act out those situations. And in some cases, you can have the child be the one who knows what to do, and the stuffed animal, the other character, is the one that's not sure what to do, so they can practice helping the character and later be able to use that to help themselves. This age group has a lot of nice sort of playful, accessible strategies, I think. Yeah, that can help quite a lot.
I think overall, what I want to tell you as a parent is, if you're worried about the transition that's going to happen in 6 to 8 weeks, I wouldn't worry about it yet. Let the transition happen, give them time to ease into it. And then if we're seeing more red flags or more concerning signals, then we kind of broach the situation. But until now, I think just kind of make the summer playful, make it positive, plug in the school stuff where you can, and yeah, I wouldn't overthink it too much, not at this stage.
Yeah, it's okay. And having a few plans, having a couple conversations around some of those feelings, and if there's some skills that come out of that conversation that you can help with. But this is a really, really normal worry.
Yes.
And if you are feeling worried about it yourself, even, reminding yourself that you have also gone through the preschool transition already. I've already done that. You've made it through it. Both of you did. And you will make it through this one just fine as well.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But as always, this is a community. So if you guys have any other strategies that you have tried, please don't hesitate to comment below and let's help each other out. Until then, guys, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to other families who might benefit from this. But thanks for tuning in.
We're happy you're here. See you soon.
Yeah. Bye.